and welcome to Competology Academy. And today this thing tells you many things about Google, that Google has got a 440 volt shock by the Indian judiciary or the administrative organizations of Indian system. And why it is so, we will come to know in the coming slides. Basically, what was the issue that Supreme Court has quashed the appeal of Google against the NCLAT, in which Google was trying to maintain its monopoly in the Android system and in the Indian market, and they had faced the same fate in the European nations also, and there also they had been found, the Google had been found in billions of dollars, around $4 billion. They were doing the same thing over there also, as well as here. The Competition Commission of India, CCI, found the same things, that Google is dominating the market, created its monopoly, and now it is restricting to enter the market for the rivals. And for that matter, the Google has been fined, and against that the Google had appealed in the NCLAT. But NCLAT told Google that first of all, whatever the fine was imposed by the Competition Commission of India, that was to the tune of 1,337 crores. You will have to submit 10% of that first. Thereafter, we will hear the case. And to quash this order of NCLAT, they moved to the Supreme Court. However, the Supreme Court refused to intervene or entertain such appeal. This plea against the NCLAT, that the NCLAT order to deposit the 10% of the fine amount should be quashed. The Supreme Court refused to intervene. They said that this is the matter which falls in the jurisdiction of NCLAT, and that matter will be adjudicated by the NCLAT itself, and we are not going to intervene in that. And they were not provided with the interim relief of the fine, to stay the fine that was of 1,337 crores that was imposed by the Competition Commission of India as a penalty because of the dominance in the market and restricting the entry of the rival tech giants or the technological developers in the market. And the Supreme Court directed Google to submit the 10% fine, and that was directed by Supreme Court that they should deposit the fine within 7 days. They give the relief to the Google, an extension of 7 days, within which the Google have to deposit the fine, that was 10% of the total fine. As well as the Supreme Court directed NCLAT to hear the appeal and decide on it by March 31st. By March 31st, the NCLAT have to pronounce the verdict, right? However, what is the issue? This was the news, but what was the issue? The whole issue is related to the monopoly in the market. Google has created the monopoly in the field of Android operating system, because nowadays most of the smart TVs, most of the mobile phones and various other devices work on the Android system. Even the car music systems and various other things are nowadays working on the Android system, and around 97% of the Android market is held by Google itself. 97% of the operating system market is in the hands of Google. So you can imagine the dominance of Google in this market. This is the dominance, and because of this dominance, Google is in the position of dictating its terms and conditions to the original equipment manufacturers. Suppose that there is a mobile manufacturer and he wants some changes in its operating system. Although he wants to use Android but with some changes, but the Google does not allow it. Google says that जो दे रहे हैं, whatever I am providing you, you have to use it only, and we are not going to allow any of the changes. First dominance is that the original equipment manufacturers are dictated by the Google organization, as well as mainly these things are happening more in the field of TV and other devices which are working on the Android operating system. Most of the TV manufacturers have accused Google that they are not allowed to install many of the apps which they want to install in it, but they are being dictated by Google that we will provide you the Android operating system only when you will follow our rules and regulations, our terms and conditions, and we are not going to allow any other app other than whatever the list we are providing to you, as well as they are charging exorbitantly if they want some changes. So for that matter, the original equipment manufacturers are at disadvantage, and they are not allowed to enter into contract with any other app developer because of the monopoly of Google. Because Google is not allowing the other app developers to get installed their apps in the Android's operating system of the manufacturers. So Google is dictating the terms and conditions, and most of the operating system comes with the preloaded apps, mainly in the mobiles. You will find that in your mobile, as and when you will purchase it, you will get there the calling software, you will get the app for the maps, Google Maps, YouTube, Chrome browser. So even if you want to upload or download any of the other operating system, other browsing system or app, then you can do it. But the Google Chrome will remain over there as it is. You cannot delete it, and you will go on to use Opera Mini or any other device, operating system or browsing system. So that is the dominance of Google, and you cannot remove any of the pre-installed apps. You can do it if you are a tech-savvy person. You are a person, you can do anything with the operating system. So if you have that much of knowledge, you are such kind of tech-savvy person. But the common people are not in position to do that. They don't have that much of technical aptitude or knowledge to do such kind of things. And for that matter, the delete option for the preloaded apps is not available in the settings section. However, if you have downloaded any of the other app from the Google Play Store, then you can delete it. As well as what is happening, it is harming the Indian consumers of their ability to choose, the right to choice, that we don't want to use YouTube or Google Chrome, then you don't have any choice. You will have to have that app in your mobile, even if you don't want to use it, even if you don't open it even once, then also that app will remain as it is in your mobile. You cannot remove it. So you don't have the right to choice. So this is the acquisition placed on Google by Competition Commission of India, and more or less it is the correct thing. Even there are many of the apps in our mobile which are preloaded, which we even don't use once, and still they are collecting the data from our mobile, our browsing data. They have the access to our files, folders, call records, etc., various things, right? And it is also harming the Indian economy, because many of the Indian app developers, many of the Indian tech giants are unable to get access to the Android operating system app download section, where they can launch their app and they will generate some income, or they will have some kind of business over there, because Google is restricting its rivals to get access of market, get access of Google Play Store. If you go on to apply for a launch of any app to the Google Play Store, then they will dictate anything to you. They will tell you change the color of your logo. They will tell you change the RGB of your logo, this size, pixel size, Whatever they will want, they will put some kind of points and they will revert the mail back to you. You don't have the choice of the looks of your own app. So that is the issue with the Google. And here what happens, what the CCI order is. Now comes the order of the CCI. What CCI has ordered to Google. Those were the issues. Now here the CCI says that allow other app stores on the Google Play. This means that within the Google Play App Store, the other app stores should be allowed to be downloaded in the mobile operating system, from where many other apps can be downloaded by the user. Basically, what is happening? Suppose that this is a residential area and there is only one shop, one option to the people from where you can purchase anything. This is the shop, so it is having the monopoly. Same thing is with Google Play App Store. Google Play is the only play store from where you can get any app. But the Competition Commission of India is saying that from this shop, some other shops can be accessed, like other play stores or other app stores can be accessed, where the user can download other apps and app stores, and from there they can get whatever app they want if it is available over there. So the people will have the choice from where do they want to download their app. Otherwise, nowadays what happens, if your app is not available on Google Play Store, then most of the people go on to launch the APK file, and this APK file can be downloaded from the websites or other sources, and from there it can be installed in your mobile. So this is one of the system through which you can get the apps, but there is no app store as it is, from where many of the tech giants of Indian origin or wherever they are can launch their own apps. If Google is not allowing them to launch their app on the Google Play Store, then they don't have any other option than only the APK route. Otherwise, there is no other app store on Google Play or in the Android application system. So that is why the Competition Commission of India has ordered Google to allow other app stores on Google Play, from where the other apps can also be launched. So this is one of the order. And other thing is that they should not deny the access to its Play services plugins. So many of the plugins, like if you are using one app and you need the support of another app as a plugin to do some kind of work on that app, to use some functions of that app and use a plugin. So many of the plugins are not being allowed by Google. They say that it will harm their system, and that is why the plugins are not being able to be accessed by the users. So the Competition Commission of India said that you will have to allow the access to the plugins as well as licensing of the Play Store to the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. So here what it says, that the original equipment manufacturers are not allowed to launch or to add their own apps in the Play Store or in the devices operating system. So for that matter, the license of the Play Store should be provided to the original equipment manufacturers, where if the mobile manufacturer wants that, he does not want to pre-install the YouTube or Google Chrome or whatever it is, or like that of Google Maps, then he should be allowed to do that. Google cannot dictate them that you will have to pre-install such kind of devices, so that the original equipment manufacturer can enter into agreement with other app developers and they can generate the income from that also, that we will pre-install your apps in our equipment and we will charge this much of amount to you, and the rest of that thing will be at the discretion of the user, that whether they want to use it or they want to delete it. However, at present time what happens, the pre-installed apps are mandatory. Pre-installed apps are mandatory, and in what manner they are mandatory? You cannot delete them. You can go on to try to delete the YouTube or the Google Chrome from your mobile. You will not be in position to do that. As well as they will have to allow the side loading of the app, like the other app developers, other app stores should be allowed to launch their app on the Android application, Android operating system. Side loading should also be allowed. And here what Google says, Google have to defend its version, that why we are not allowing these things. So what kind of arguments are being presented by Google? Google says that the devices will become expensive. How it will become expensive? Because they will charge the licensing, access charges and other things to the original equipment manufacturers. If their own apps are not being preloaded in the operating system of the original equipment manufacturer, then they will go on to charge more money, because they will have to tweak the operating system, and for that matter they will have to make some changes, and they will charge that money to the original equipment manufacturer, and the cost will be passed on to the consumer. So they say that the devices will become expensive. Then they says that proliferation of unchecked apps. Many such apps will get the market access which should not be available to the people, or which should not be allowed to be launched on any platform. So Google says that it will cause the proliferation of many unchecked apps, many illegal apps. So that is one of the issue that Google have cited. Next is issue of national security. So you can think Google is thinking about the national security of India. What an irony. Keep this thing in mind, that none of the capitalists, none of the tech giants or organizations think about the national security of any nation. They just think about the profit motive of their own. They will go for making money only, and they don't think about the security of any nation. So that is the thing. And here they says that this will create the issue of privacy, and Google is saying that who is even tracking where you are working, on which road you are moving, at what speed you are moving. If your GPS is on, then the Google can access your live location also. Where you are, what you are doing. So they are accessing all your privacy data. They are tracking to whom you are making calls, what you are browsing on your mobile, to whom you are mailing. So all these kind of things are already available with Google, and they say that that will create the privacy issue. So Google should also not track such kind of information of the common man, but they have to do the marketing. So for that matter they should track this, and they are saying that that will breach the privacy if they will allow these kind of things. Then they say that forks will harm the ecosystem of Android. So basically what is fork? Suppose that the Android main system, the parent system is this one, and here many other types of Android with certain changes will be developed by many other organizations if the licensing will be provided to the original equipment manufacturers. Like MI system, MI mobile system works on MIUI. That is also one of the fork, one of the version of Android itself. So likewise Google says that many of the forks, many of the different types of versions of Android will get developed, and this will destroy the Android ecosystem. So basically they are of the view that that will destroy their monopoly, and that is why they are saying that that will destroy the ecosystem of Android itself. And they says that the allowing such kind of things will expose the people to the predatory apps, fraudulent apps. They will get exposed to the financial frauds, data breach, data theft and number of other dangers. So these kind of things are being cited by Google. So the data theft and data breach are going on even today. Think about Pegasus. Right, so such kind of things are happening even today, and there are various people who are quite efficient to breach the security system of Google even nowadays, and that will go on increasing, not decreasing. So how does the Google will be in position to restrict such kind of activities? So Google is itself not in position to restrict such kind of things, and they say that people will get exposed to such kind of fraudulent activities. So already it is not going to be that kind of thing, because it is already happening. So what remains behind? Basically, they are trying to protect their monopoly, their dominance in the market, because nobody is in competition with them in at present time, right? And here what Indian company says, the Indian companies have welcomed the verdict of Supreme Court because many of the Indian companies are at disadvantage because of the dominance of Google. And the biggest example is Map My India. Map My India was an organization and company which had started the digitization of maps and other things of India way back in 1995. Since then they are digitally available on the internet. They have digitized the maps of India, the routes of India, and various other things, but they are not allowed to launch their app on Android system because it will compete directly with the Google Maps, and the Google Maps will be at losing end. They will lose their market share, and for that matter the Map My India is not allowed to launch their app on Google. So this is straight away restricting the competition in the market and creating the monopoly and dominance in the market, restricting the market access to your rivals. So, and that is why the Competition Commission of India has filed the fine on Google, right? And they say that they foreclosed the rivals. Why they foreclosed the rivals? How? Basically they foreclosed the doors for the rivals for the market access. The rivals cannot get the market access, they cannot launch their app on the Play Store, such kind of things. And basically they are not saying that outrightly that we cannot allow it. They will create such kind of obstacles to their rivals to make it look genuine, and by that they are restricting basically the market access to their rivals. So these things are going on, and because of that the Indian companies have welcomed the verdict that now they will be in position to launch their apps also if such kind of rules and regulations are imposed on Google. However, the NCLT verdict is still awaited. That will be final on 31st March or on or before 31st March, because that is the last cutoff date till when the verdict should be there. So we will see what happens, and for such kind of informative videos do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos. And please do follow us on our Instagram and Facebook handle. This is our Telegram channel from where you can get various notes, videos, etc. And do download our app from the Google Play Store, right, because we have got the access to it. And this is our website from where you can purchase various courses, and various free courses are also available, free test series are available, free study materials are available. You can go on to download such kind of materials etc. from our app. And thank you very much and have a nice day.